Again, I'm Matthew from St. Peter's College. This is Mary from the College of Agriculture. And then we also have a student here who is a previous SBC student who's currently in the College of Agriculture. So we're also going to be talking a little bit about vet med because those two tend to be quite linked. Really brief here, we're just gonna be talking about like why students choose the program, like common employment opportunities, you know, just like what's the first year gonna look like, what's the later years gonna look like for both programs, and then like tuition, prerequisites, deadlines, details, and so forth. Like I said, the recording of this will be available up on our website as well. So if you have to tune out early, just make sure you go to our website to view the rest of it here. I guess primarily, why students like to choose agriculture and bioresources is, as I'm aware, because of the great research opportunities. Because of the research, like to find solutions to sustainably feed the world, there's collaborative environments at the college. So there's really strong partnerships with governments, private enterprises, producer groups, research centers, and a lot more. So similar to St. Peter's College, there's pretty small class sizes, especially in the third and the fourth year. It's a very involved student body. There's lots of student clubs. People come out with great career skills. Agriculture in the province is an industry titan. It makes up like $8 billion of our GDP just directly, never mind like second chains. And Saskatchewan counts for a little bit less than half of Canada's total field crop acreage. And there's a ton of different programs, diplomas, majors, minors, and so forth. Is there anything else you have to add to that?
No, I think you covered a really good opportunity there. I think a lot of that information is great, especially with the small class sizes. We know we get a lot of students from smaller communities, so students feel really at home in the college, I think, and it's a great opportunity. And our faculty are some of the best faculty on campus. Our students really enjoy working with them, and there's constant opportunities for students to get involved, and they're always evolving, as with the agriculture industry. So there's always something new to learn. When you start your program in first year, within a month or two, you'll be learning something new, and there's always something to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
So going on to just some common careers here. This is about to be an overwhelming page, so I apologize about that. But those are just some examples of common career options that you can get with the variety of different programs with the College of Agriculture. So there's a ton of different things there. I won't spend too long on this. I won't read them out. You have a chance I'll give you a chance here to quickly look in on it. Would you want to maybe talk, Mary, about just some of the skills that students tend to learn?
Yeah, so especially through a lot of these, some of the skills that students are able to develop is through some of our facilities on campus. So we have the Phytotron right on campus, which is a controlled environment facility. We also have the greenhouses on campus. We have the Rainer Dairy facility on campus, as well as the Crop Development Center. And then these are all kind of locations within walking distance from the college, or even just a 10-minute drive. So students are able to get access to the hands-on learning. And then this usually also sets them up throughout their program in order to line up summer jobs as well. So there's a lot of opportunity there. And then in the upper year courses, a lot of the field work. So students spend time out in the field, as well as through some of our clubs, specifically with rangeland management. Some of our students have participated in a conference in the United States last year, and this is something that directly correlates to their program, but it also helps give them that competitive edge in terms of developing skills for hireability.
Perfect, thank you. So now I'm going to quickly talk about the first year. As with all great aspirations, it has to start somewhere. And Kiara, I'm going to be probably leaning on you a little bit here just to talk a little bit about, what to know in the first year. So I'll quickly touch over like a little bit of the quadrants here, as you can see here. And then I'll put another slide up and I'll let you talk for a little bit here, Kiara. But primarily agriculture and bioresources. You can see here, there's a bunch of different majors and programs. They're split into these 4 different areas here. They'll usually fall under one of these categories. And I imagine there's quite a bit of discipline overreach from one area to another. So you got a really diverse set of skills. So Kiera, I'm just gonna get you to maybe talk about like, what your recommended like first year experiences for anyone who's interested in agriculture and biology. Like what's something that they should understand about that jump from like high school to university? Like what's some great things maybe about the College of Ag Bio that they should be aware of?
Um, yeah, so for me, so I think that some of the greatest things, especially first year, is one of the major things is the environment. And there's so many different clubs, and you can meet people of similar interests. And you can even, in some of the clubs, there's upper year students, and you can even ask them questions about, and if you're not sure what you want to major in, like they can always help you. Um, there's also the professors. Professors are super nice in the college and they're willing to help you and guide you, I guess. And also academic advisors. They are really helpful in helping you choose what kind of classes you want to take. And you can take a variety of different classes, I would say, so that you can find out what you're interested in.
Perfect. Thank you. And just to kind of fill in some extra stuff here. So as you can see on Ag Bio here, a lot of the degrees are science-based. So, just be prepared for some biology, some chemistries for most of the degrees. USask is really big on research opportunities. Ag Bio does an excellent job with first-year research opportunities. Um, there are so many programs, you don't actually have to know which program you're going into in your first year. You can be undeclared. That said, it's not a bad idea to have a good idea. Usually you'll kind of fit in one of those 4 quadrants I showed earlier. And there is a great choose your major event typically at USask in the winter. So you get the option to learn about all the different professions there. Something I really want to stress here is at the end of your first year, you should be aiming for a minimum 57.5% average. Otherwise, some academic penalties can follow up on there. It's not like high school. You want to make sure you're getting higher than a 50. 50 doesn't necessarily mean that you're passing or doing what you should. Going on to veterinary medicine here, I guess pre-vet. There are common pathways that are animal science and animal bioscience. You don't have to take those ones to get into that. A lot of people just tend to jump into those right off the bat. Something I really want to stress here, we get a lot of students interested in pre-vet. We had I think we had 2 of our students who were admitted this year. One was a year 2 student. Have some realistic expectations. It's very difficult to get in, especially in like your second or your third year. It's very much look at it like step based. You really should be focused on what your plan B is here. So when you look into which degree you want to pick, it's great that you have veterinary medicine as your end goal, but you need to look at the steps that are in the way there. Most people who get into the program either have a degree or in the final year of their degree. So you can still apply at the end of your second year. You might have to customize your schedule a little bit, but the advisors at both St. Pete's and USask are really happy to help you do that. As Kiera said, there's so many different clubs, both for Ag Bio and pre-vet. There's even a pre-vet club. And I'll talk a little bit more about this as well, but there's some great shadowing experiences and volunteer experiences that you should be looking into if you are looking to be a vet med. Something I haven't really put in here necessarily, but one thing to really be worried about is I know a lot of people who go into ag tend to be, they grew up on a farm. They might be help their parents a lot during harvest and whatnot. One thing I want to stress, a trap I see a lot of students fall into is either they or their parents expect they'll still be able to put a heavy workload into like their family farm while being a full-time university student. It's great you want to help out. It's great that you're working, and it's great you're getting some practical experience, but make sure that school is a pretty top priority there. I have seen students who've had to drop out because they were expected to put in 20, 30 hours a week into the farm while maintaining a full-time first-year schedule. It gets pretty tough for sure. Going really quickly on into years 2, 3, and 4 here, there's a lot to talk about. And because it's so diverse in the College of Agriculture, I can only give you some of the generalizations here. Like I said, you can choose a major at the end of your first year instead of right out of high school. That's fine. I'd recommend, figure out which one you want to do as early as you can, though. There is the Ag Bio Challenge. You can do this in first year as well. I know it's particularly more common among students as they go through the later years. That's a sponsored and judged competition. Students present on a topic to gain cash prizes. One of St. Peter's College students last year actually won this. I think she was the first year student to ever actually win this. So that was really exciting for us. There's that RBC Learn to Work and Work to Learn program. So that involves lots of great things like workshops and events, career meetups. There's the Ag Bio Challenges, and there's even a course, I think it's Agriculture 445, where you do experimental learning in the workplace. So it's a really great program. Students of all years can get involved. It's just one of those great things that's going to build your skill set up and make you more employable as you get out of university. One thing I really consider for, especially once you get to year 2, start looking into your minor options. There's lots of great minors that can help specialize your education and make it really interesting to you and to employers. So you want to look into those options here. I recommend, again, take it a step at a time, focus on first year, and then really excel as you go through the later years here. Going on to veterinary medicine. As I said before, majority of students are admitted in years 3 and 4 or are already graduated. I'll have some actual numbers for you here at the bottom, or I guess next slide. Pre-vet club, super big. Really recommend doing that. It's a great opportunity to meet other pre-vet students and then also work with people who are currently in veterinary school. So you can really get a lot of advice with the applications and with what you should be doing. Really recommend that you get some type of experience working with animals. They're looking for, some type of vet experience, so shadow a vet. They're also looking for some type of, just animal experience, both supervised and unsupervised. The Western College of Veterinary Medicine is fantastic because there's great volunteer options to help get you some of that experience if you don't know a local vet that you can shadow. Something to really specify here is, even though the program I think has 83 seats, there's only 20 of them that are reserved for Saskatchewan seats. So those are funded by the province. I'll give you the cost of that a little bit later here, but it's much cheaper. There are 25 non-IPA, so non-interprovincial agreements, so non-funded seats. Those ones are a bit more costly. They're at around $68,000 a year, whereas the Saskatchewan seats are at around $12,500 for tuition. So it's quite more affordable. You want to aim for those Saskatchewan seats if possible. You can apply after 2 years. You just need 60 credits of required courses. You can get your schedule customized for that. Even if there's low odds of you getting in, it's not a bad idea to go through the interview process, and you'll just get more tips. You do get advice at the end of the interview, at the end of the application process. It's heavy in biochemistry, math, and other sciences, so it's a heavy workload, just so you're aware.
Can I just jump in on that comment there?
Yes.
Yeah, so I wanted to make a quick note for those other sciences there. The biggest difference that, especially if you are going through the College of Ag in order to get to vet med and meet those requirements, the one of them, obviously the biology and chemistry, but physics. Physics is a really important one. So I encourage you, if you are in high school right now, make sure you take that Physics 30, because you will have to take Physics 115 at the university, and it's not a requirement for our degrees. So as part of helping students navigate this pre-vet planning here is including that physics class, which would come essentially as an elective in your program, but just make sure beyond the requirements to get into the College of Ag, make sure you do have your Physics 30 as well.
Yeah, very, very good advice there. And on that note, pre-Calc 30 is the requirement, I believe, but you'll want Calc 30 as well. It just helps. The more sciences and maths you get, the better. It's something your career counselors have been telling you for literally years. Just so you're aware, when you do get to vet med, it can be a heavy workload. It's 42 to 45 credit units per academic year. So good study skills are something that you'll want to really make sure that you have and that you build towards. Going on to some of the numbers here. I'm a numbers person. The actual selection criteria, the process, those are some skills, or I guess those are some criteria that they look in, that they weigh in as you go through the admissions process with veterinary medicine. As you can see, it's a lot more than just, I have good grades and I worked with animals. They're looking for someone who's really developed as a person, who can lead in their community. So you want to make sure that as you have electives in your degree, you're using the things that you enjoy, you're using them the things that, might be able to meet these qualities, and you're just trying to become a good person who exhibits a lot of these and has experience and can prove that they've done most of these. When you apply to vet med, there will be 2 interviews for every 1 seat. So not everyone does get an interview, but quite a few people do. And so that's based on 2/3 of your overall average, so your overall grades. And then 1/3 of that is based on your best full year average. So if you have 1 year that really knocked it out of the park, that's probably going to help you with this for sure. But good grades are pretty important here for sure. Going on to some of the entry stats here. I'm just focusing on Saskatchewan right now. I'm assuming everyone in the audience is from Saskatchewan. 20 seats. are Saskatchewan seats. Those are Saskatchewan funded seats. That's out of, and they had 81 applicants last year, I believe. So 1 in 4 applicants got into a Saskatchewan seat here. The averages global between all the seats were between 80.7 and 94.5%. So there's a really big gap there, but as you can kind of see, looking toward those mid 80s tends to be probably where you want to at least set that low benchmark for. If you do really well in the interview, of course, you can get in with lower grades. If you do really poorly in interview, you need your grades to supplement that for sure. And again, really stressing this, what's your plan B? Only 7 out of the 83 seats, so out of the entire admissions for all seats, were admitted to people with 2 years of education. Most people were in their 3rd or 4th year, already had their degree. One of our students was one of those 7, so we're really happy about that. Going on to some of the admission requirements here, particularly just for, I guess, the College of Agriculture and Bioresources. Depending on what you're looking at, there's a couple of different requirements here, but generally a bio and a math is pretty good to have. We've said it before, we'll say it again. The more sciences and maths you have, the better off you'll be, especially if you decide to maybe like change your major later on. You want to make sure that you are set up for success here. I don't have the minimum averages here, not on the screen, but going off the top of my head, please correct me if I'm wrong. I think you need a minimum average of 75% to get into animal bioscience. I believe it's 70% for the Bachelor of Science in Agricultures, and I believe agribusiness was 70%. Please correct me if I'm wrong there.
Yeah, I believe you're correct. The only big one is that for the animal bioscience, the early admission is 80%, and that is for the December 1st early admission deadline. That one starts at 80% for students who are interested in applying early because it is competitive. So, but yeah, otherwise you're on.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And if you are interested in animal bioscience and that early admission and you haven't applied yet, you should probably get on that. It takes some time to get through that application. We can help you out with that.
And you'd also be eligible for Best and Brightest scholarships if you apply by the December 1st deadline as well.
Yes, yes. And again, just the admission requirements there, we've kind of talked them over really quickly. Nope, that's not it. Apologies. So when they calculate your admission average, when we say an admission average, guys, sorry, gym doesn't necessarily count. Not picking on the PE teachers here. They use a 5-subject formula. It's 1 math, 1 English, grade 12 level. Same for both of those. And then they pick a combination of 3 between natural sciences, social sciences, and fine or performing arts. You can see the full list up on the website, or I can provide that to you a little bit later here as well, if you're interested. Going on to the tuition here. First off, these numbers will change for literally everyone. It completely depends on how many classes you're taking, what the tuition rate is set at that year, and which classes you are taking. So this is just an estimated amount based off of this year's tuition rates. It will completely depend on how many classes you take. This assumes you're in a full load, so a full 30 credits in the fall and the winter terms. At St. Peter's, our tuition is quite similar. Our student fees are quite a bit lower, but that makes sense because we don't have a bus pass and like a newspaper and stuff that you pay for here. We do find that at St. Peter's, our students typically will come out with just a little bit less debt, but that's primarily just because the tuition's similar for sure. The fees will sometimes be quite a bit less. And then we just have our additional scholarships here as well. Just a quick SPC plug here, as to why students choose St. Peter's College here. When we talk to our students, what they tend to tell us is the small in-person classes. We have an average of 16 people. Our students report to us that they feel like they leave with less debt because, on average, our students get $1,800 in scholarships. Our intern students get $1,800 in scholarships. We don't know why. So many of our students just never apply for the scholarships, which has a May 1st or June 22nd deadline for us. And there's so much money that they're missing out on. They can keep their USAS scholarships. USAS provides a ton of great scholarships, especially for intern students. So as Mary said, you should be looking into the Best and Brightest scholarships, which close on December 15th if you haven't already. At both colleges, Agriculture and St. Pete's, there's a really friendly environment there for sure. Lots of people helping you out, and you get to work with a lot of great people. We find that our dropout rates do tend to be quite low, not necessarily compared to the U of S, but just as a national average. And you can spend the first year here with ag programs for sure. So we're really excited to be, continuously pumping out agriculture students. We feel like they have a really great time here, and especially as they go onto the main campus and really succeed in the College of Agriculture and Bioresources. I guess we're near the end here. Kiera or Mary, did you guys have anything else to mention here about Ag Bio or VetMed?
No, I think you covered everything really well there. Yeah, it's definitely for, I think the big emphasis as well is just making sure you do have that plan B, because a lot of our students, they do come in with the intent of applying to the College of VetMed, but there's so much more to the college than that. And I could tell you so many stories of upper year students in the college who said they all started on their VetMed path and then they totally changed their mind, including our associate dean. She actually went into the college as a plan to become a vet med, and then she went into soil science and became the department head, and now she's the dean. So there are so many other opportunities within the college, and like Matthew said, there's lots of options there. So if you're leaning towards this way, I think there's some good opportunities, especially in the first year between Ag 111, 112, and 113, our kind of core first 3-year Ag concentrated classes. Usually through those 3, students tend to figure out where their interest lies, and then through the help of myself and my team, we can kind of build off of that and hopefully find a spot that works for you in your favorite area to study.
Can I just comment on that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so for myself, I am one of those students who came in with a intent to go into vet med. I'm in animal bioscience, 3rd year. So I did want to go into vet med. That was my main reason, just for going into animal bioscience. But then just going through the classes, I learned that there's so many other opportunities, and especially in one of the classes in this year, I'm taking Animal Science 315. It's a nutrition class, and I really found my love of, I just like formulating diets for animals, and especially summer jobs. If you can get a summer job with industry, then you'll get more experience and you can find out that there's more routes than just vet med.
Perfect. Thanks for your contributions with that, guys. I know there's a lot to talk about with Ag Bio, and it's really helpful that you're here and being able to give that specialized advice. Because I mean, Kiera, you're a student right now going through it, and then Mary, you work with the college, so you have a lot of insider knowledge there. If you guys do have any questions who are in the audience, I know you guys got to get back to your classes really quickly here. I'll bring this back in a quick second here. If you would like, though, we do have an in-person open house on November 21st. All the COVID-19 guidelines are going to be followed, so early registration is key if you want to get in. Once we reach that capacity limit, we can't let anyone else in. So if you're interested in this, make sure you go to our website and register for it right away, or contact us for some extra details here. We'll be talking about a lot, touring the college, exploring all of the different programs that we offer, and a lot more. But if you do have any questions, you can contact either St. Peter's College through anything that you have on that screen there. Alternatively, you could also contact the College of Agriculture and Bioresources, and I could also forward their information to you as well. So if you do have any questions, reach out to us through social media, through our website, our phone, or by emailing us. But that's all I have for everyone. So did you have anything else, Mary or Kiera?
Nope, I think that's great. And yeah, just in addition to that, I'll put it in the chat here, but if you do have questions or if you want to set up an appointment to discuss anything, we're always talking to prospective students, and I'm happy to set up a conference call or a Zoom meeting with you, and you can contact me at agbio.studentservices@usas.ca. I'll just put it in the chat here.
Perfect. All right. I'd like to thank everyone for showing up to this meeting for sure. We're really excited to be able to do this. We do have another one coming up tomorrow as well. That one is going to be let me load up our schedule. Yes, we'll be doing a healthcare one. So there's going to be a lot of info. So if you're looking at nutrition, pre-med, pre-farm, or nursing as well. So there'll be a lot of different things there. If you're interested in healthcare, recommend that you come to it because there's a lot to know. It's our substitute for the health event that we normally do in October. The recording of this will be available up on our website. Like I said, go to stpeterscollege.ca, go to events on the top, and then just click on info sessions, and you'll find all the recordings up on there. Again, thanks for coming, everyone. I'm going to end the recording now, and I'll be on standby here through the chat or through the phone.